Hey there, brave soul scrolling through the wild corners of the internet. Stop right now and feel this with me. The golden sun is just cresting the horizon of the endless savanna, painting the acacia trees in fiery orange, but the air is thick with the scent of danger. Dust rises like smoke from 1,000 pounding paws. Roars split the sky like thunder. You are not just watching. You are there, standing on the rocky outcrop beside King Lion himself, heart hammering, claws digging into the earth as the black lions swarm from the shadowed east like a living storm. This is no fairy tale. This is the moment the Lion Kingdom's world shatters, and one king's unbreakable spirit decides whether it will ever be whole again. Welcome to the epic that will grip your chest and refuse to let go. Epic battle, Lion Kingdom under attack. King Lion versus Black Lions. King Lion fights back in war. If your blood is already pumping, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button so the algorithm knows stories like this deserve to reach every warrior heart out there. And if you want more tales that make you roar, feel, and believe in courage again, smash subscribe and ring that bell. You're part of this pride now. Let's roar into the story together. Deep in the heart of the sunlit plains, where the grass grew taller than a lion's shoulder and the river sang lullabies to the cubs every dusk, stood the Lion Kingdom. King Leo, golden mane flowing like liquid sunlight, shoulders broad enough to carry the weight of every life under his protection, ruled with a heart as vast as the savannah itself. He was not born perfect. Years ago, as a young prince, he had watched his own father fall in a flash flood, and the terror of that night still visited him in dreams. But every sunrise he chose courage anyway. Beside him walked Queen Lyra, her sleek silver gold coat shimmering, eyes the color of morning dew. She was the calm in his storm, the quiet voice that reminded him strength was not only in claws but in compassion. Their three cubs, little Mira with her curious sparkle, brave Kale who already practiced roars louder than his body could handle, and tiny Nia who still stumbled over her own paws, were the reason Leo rose every morning ready to face anything. The kingdom thrived because of them. Herds of antelope grazed freely under protection, birds carried messages across the plains, and every lion, lioness, and even the cheeky meerkat scouts felt they belonged. But peace is a fragile flower on the savannah. Far to the east, beyond the Blackthorn ravine where light itself seemed afraid to tread, lived the Shadow Pride, the Black Lions. Their coats were midnight dark, eyes glowing like embers, led by the colossal warlord Grimfong. Once, Grimfong had been a brother to Leo in spirit, but envy had poisoned him. His lands had withered under endless drought, his cubs grew thin while Leo's kingdom bloomed. Why should the Golden Ones hoard the light? He snarled to his warriors each night. We will take what the sun denied us. The attack came at the false dawn, when the sky is still bruised purple and lions are heaviest with sleep. You feel it before you hear it. The ground vibrates. Then the horizon darkens with hundreds of black shapes moving as one. Grimfang's horde poured over the eastern ridge like ink spilled across parchment. Their roars were not the proud challenge of hunters. They were the hollow scream of the desperate and the furious. Leo woke to the first explosion of violence. A sentry's dying roar tore through the royal den. They're here. The Black Ones are here. In seconds the peaceful kingdom became a battlefield. Lionesses snatched cubs into their mouths and ran for the hidden caves. Young warriors, barely old enough to grow their first manes, leapt forward with trembling bravery. Leo charged out of the den, mane blazing, voice thundering across the plains, Lion Kingdom, to me. The first clash was chaos and heartbreak. Klosh mit klosh. Teeth sank into shoulders. Dust choked the air until it was impossible to tell friend from foe. Leo fought like a force of nature, swiping aside 3 black lions in one sweeping blow, but his eyes kept darting toward the royal den. Lyra was there, guarding their cubs with her life. He could hear little Kale's frightened whimper even over the roar of battle. Braveclaw, Leo's oldest friend, the scarred warrior who had saved his life a dozen times, took a brutal slash across the ribs protecting a group of fleeing elders. He staggered but kept fighting, blood painting his golden fur crimson. Go, my king, he gasped. Your family. They need you more than I do. Leo's heart cracked. Every leader knows that terrible choice, save the many or protect the few you love most. He roared in anguish and kept fighting forward, but doubt gnawed at him like a hyena at a carcass. Was he strong enough? Had he grown soft in times of peace? By midday the kingdom had been split. The black lions seized the great watering hole, cutting off the river. Grimfong himself stood atop Pride Rock, Leo's own throne, his black mane whipping in the hot wind as he bellowed, "This land is ours now, Golden One. Your sun is setting." Leo gathered the survivors in the tall grass valley, a narrow strip of green shielded by towering boulders. Only 200 lions remained of a once 1,000-strong pride. Many were wounded. Many more were missing. The air smelled of blood and smoke from the burning acacia groves Grimfang's forces had torched. That night, under a sky heavy with stars that seemed to weep, Leo sat apart from the others. His mane was matted with dirt and the blood of enemies. Lyra found him there, their 3 cubs huddled against her side. Little Nia was crying softly. Mira tried to be brave but her tiny body shook. Kale kept asking, "Papa, are we going to die?" Leo pulled them all close, his massive paws trembling. "I don't know if I can win this, Lyra," he whispered, voice breaking for the first time anyone had ever heard. "What if my pride falls because I wasn't strong enough?" Lyra pressed her forehead to his. "Strength was never only yours to carry, my love. Look around. Every lion here chose to stay because they believe in you. Not because you are perfect, but because you never stopped trying to be good. That is the real roar." Her words lit something inside him. Not the fire of rage, but the quiet, unbreakable flame of purpose. The next 3 days were a masterclass in courage and cleverness. Leo refused to let despair win. He sent the swiftest lionesses, led by the fearless warrior Osha, a young lioness who had always been told she was too small for battle, on a secret mission to the elephant clans far north. "Tell them the black lions poison the river that feeds everyone," he said. "If the savannah falls, we all fall." While they ran, Leo led daring night raids. He taught the cubs, yes, even little Nia, how to carry messages through the grass without being seen. He sat with the wounded Braveclaw, who could no longer fight, and let the old warrior share every scrap of battlefield wisdom he possessed. "Use their anger against them," Braveclaw whispered through pain. "They fight for hate. We fight for home." Grimfong grew impatient. On the 4th dawn he launched an all-out assault on the tall grass valley, determined to end it. Black bodies surged forward in waves. Leo's defenders formed a living wall of claws and teeth. The battle raged for hours. Leo fought at the front, taking wound after wound, deep gashes across his flank, a torn ear, a shoulder that burned like fire, yet he never retreated. At the height of the carnage, Grimfong broke through the lines and charged straight for the royal family. Lyra stood in front of the cubs, hackles raised, ready to die protecting them. Leo saw it from 20 paces away. Time slowed. He roared so loudly the ground itself seemed to shake. The 2 kings collided like living mountains. Grimfong was bigger, heavier, fueled by years of bitter hunger. His claws raked Leo's chest, opening fresh wounds. "You think love will save you?" Grimfong snarled, teeth inches from Leo's throat. "Love makes you weak." Leo tasted blood but did not falter. In that moment every memory flashed before him. His father's last smile, Lyra's wedding roar under the full moon, the first time he held tiny Mira and promised her the world would be safe. "No," he growled back, voice steady even as pain tore through him. "Love makes me unstoppable." With a surge of power born not of muscle but of heart, Leo twisted, slipped under Grimfang's guard, and clamped his jaws around the black lion's throat, not to kill but to hold. "This ends now," he roared through clenched teeth. "Leave, or we all die here together." Grimfong thrashed, but something in Leo's eyes, pure, unshakable resolve, made the warlord hesitate. In that frozen second, the ground trembled again. Not from black lion paws. From the north came the thunder of the elephant clans, led by the ancient matriarch Thunderhoof, crashing through the battlefield like living boulders. Osha and her lionesses rode atop their backs, roaring triumphantly. Birds darkened the sky carrying sharp stones in their talons. Even the usually timid gazelles had formed a stampede wall, kicking up dust to blind the invaders. The entire savannah had answered Leo's call. Grimfang's eyes widened in disbelief. His army, seeing the impossible alliance, began to waver. One by one, Black lions lowered their heads, not in defeat, but in exhaustion and shame. Grimfong finally released his grip and stepped back, chest heaving. Leo, bleeding from a dozen wounds, stood tall. "We do not want your extinction," he said, voice carrying across the valley. "We want peace. Share the water. Share the hunting grounds. Raise your cubs in light instead of shadow. The sun is big enough for all of us." Grimfong stared at the Golden King, battered, exhausted, yet radiating a light that no darkness could swallow. For the first time in years, the warlord's eyes softened. He gave a single, slow nod. "Perhaps I was wrong." The battle ended not with death, but with a new treaty signed in the blood already spilled. Weeks later, the Lion Kingdom stood rebuilt, stronger than before. The river flowed clear again. New acacia trees were planted where the old ones had burned. Braveclaw limped but smiled as he trained the next generation. Little Kale now roared with real power, Mira sketched battle maps in the dirt, and Nia slept peacefully knowing the world had heroes. Leo and Lyra stood on Pride Rock at sunset, watching their cubs play with black lion cubs who had come to visit under the peace treaty. Scars decorated Leo's body like medals of honor, but his eyes shone with quiet joy. He turned to the horizon and spoke softly, as if every viewer watching this story could hear him. "No matter how dark the night, how many enemies rise against you, how many times you fall, never forget what you fight for. Your family. Your friends. The future you want your children to inherit. That love inside you is stronger than any claw, any army, any storm. You are a lion. Stand up. Roar. And the savannah will answer." And so, dear friend, the Lion Kingdom did not just survive. It became a beacon that lit the entire wild. If this story made your heart pound, if it reminded you that you too can face your own black lions, whatever challenges are attacking your kingdom right now, then please, right now, smash that like button. It helps more people find stories that heal and inspire. Subscribe if you want to stand with this pride every single week, because the next epic is already being written. Drop a comment. What is the battle you are fighting right now? I read every single one. You are not alone. You have the heart of King Leo inside you. Until the next roar. Stay strong, stay golden, and never stop fighting back. The end. But only for today. Your story is just beginning.